All right. Please add your names to the attendees. And let's go over the webs quickly. We have Web 21, which is the past seamless migration. Just let me know if you want to discuss any of the webs in details. Otherwise, I'll just go over them. And thank you, Aurel, for adding the webs. I forgot to do that. So the status is that it has reached beta in 1.8 and it's scheduled for GA in 1.9. Web 106, which is decoupling the network attachment definition and having the network resource injector thingy, was introduced as beta in 1.8. Web 111 for upgrading the old VMs from their old naming schemes to the new one was also beta in 1.8. Web 127, which is sharing the MAC address with the sidecar, it was GA'd in 1.8. Nice. And Web 140, which is the live update of NAD reference, was beta in 1.8 and is scheduled to be GA in 1.9. And there are 3 new webs that are still under review. The one for masquerade port ranges, the one for persisting the MACs, and the one about the DRA. We did not discuss the DRA in the previous meeting, so maybe we can go over that real quick. I know like we wanted to have a dedicated call about this.
We don't have Al Chevalier, right?
No.
So there is a dedicated DRA meeting every Tuesday or so, something along those lines, or every second Tuesday. But this one is specifically for network. This web is specifically for network. And I've asked the author to present it to the SIG network. Currently, he didn't schedule a meeting to present it, so it stands where it stands.
Okay. And moving on to the PRs, but before we move on to the PRs, I saw a lot of Slack threads in like the Cube in the virtualization channel or the Cube Dev, whatever the channel. So people were asking if there are any good first issues that new contributors can look into. So for network, do we have like a list of good first issues? It's just like something to keep in mind. So if you see any issues which might be good first issues, we can make a list. Okay, moving on to the PRs. Nir, do you want to talk about yours?
Yeah. Which one are you showing?
This is the connectivity between the two nodes.
Yes. So, just to describe what it does today, when we are testing bridge binding in upstream, we have no connectivity between the nodes. When we just create a bridge with the network attachment definition and the CNI with the bridge CNI, it creates a bridge, and the bridge is like floating in the air, and it's not connected to the other nodes. And this, first of all, it doesn't really check quote unquote local net connectivity or this type of functionality. And it also forces us to do hacks. I'll call it hacks with node affinity in tests in order to test this bridge network. And one example is the NAD reference change test, which creates VMs with affinity to the other VMs that are already there, so that they don't have to do a cross node communication. So what this PR does, it utilizes the upstream KubeVirt CI mechanism that generates extra network interfaces on the nodes. So and it doesn't only generate those extra interfaces, it also interconnects them underneath in the framework. So for example, If you add one, you'll have an ETH1 in each one of your nodes, and they will be interconnected in all the nodes. So what this PR does is it creates a bridge and it connects them to this ETH1 or whatever interface that you choose, and it disconnects them when the test is done, um, and it uh, and it and it introduces cross-node connectivity through bridges. And the last commit of this PR, or actually the last two commits of this PR, one of them takes the NAD test that I talked about, and it optimizes it to actually, it removes all the affinity things that we had there. And the other thing that it does is it introduces a new label, so that because we can't run this test like that in downstream, because in downstream we don't have this mechanism, and it really relies on KubeVirt CI. So it introduces a label so that other distributions or tests that do not run on KubeVirt CI can filter this test out. And Eddie had a comment that I can use NM state, but I did not figure out what he meant and how I can do that. So I would be very glad to discuss that if you can explain, Eddie.
What did you sorry, what did you didn't understand? Sorry.
So NM state is, there are two, let's say, NM states that I know about. There's the NM state infrastructure and tool that I don't know that we have in upstream, and I don't think that I can use it.
What do you mean?
Correct.
Upstream is what you have on the node. This is a CentOS stream, I think, right? So it's supposed to be there.
So you think that we should install it as part of the lane?
I think it's part of it. It's part of the basic. I think it's supposed to be in it, but this is why you need to check.
Well, when I run when I run in a local environment, I don't see it, but I can check it in the logs of the KubeVirt CI. And the other thing that we have is like is a I would say a semi-NM state like API that we use in VertHandler, but it's not really NM state. It's just called NM state, and underneath it's just ethtool commands, I think. Right?
No, it uses netlinks, I think. But anyway, this is the API, and we have a we mock. We have not a mock. It's we keep the API in the code, and underneath it uses Go to do the other changes.
But it
So
doesn't have a wide support like the real NM state. It supports very specific commands, right?
yes, then you need to check if it's there, like the support is there. And but the other option to install NM state, if it's not in the CentOS stream, then you can install. I don't see a problem to install it. It's the KubeVirt CI node, right?
And is there and is there a way to undo the NM state when the test is finished, or I have to add an after each?
No, you add an absent.
Oh, I have to explicitly add an absent in the end of the test.
Yes, but I don't think you should do that. You should create the bridges on the nodes from start. I don't know. I don't see why you should remove them. It's part of the. It should be part of the node. Why
because the
should you
test
remove it?
because the tests usually use their own bridges in their own NATs. They do BR1, BR10, BR Ananya, or whatever. I just invented BR Ananya. It doesn't really exist, but I'm just giving an example.
Yeah, but you don't need it.
So
It's like
You're
you are
saying
telling
that.
me, that if I need ETH5, I need to always create it per test. No, I can say that this is part of the node infrastructure, and the node has it. Every time I create a node with secondary interfaces, I can create a bridge with it by default. That's it.
So you're saying that we can like add to the infrastructure something that creates, let's say, two bridges with predefined names, and the test can just make use of them in their nodes.
Yes, you can have it either as part of the creating the nodes, not even the test, or you can put it in the setup of the test. That doesn't matter. For in my opinion, it will be just easier maybe to create it as part of the node preparation, but it's
So
not a
node
must.
preparation is part of KubeVirt CI. So you're saying do it in
No,
KubeVirt
I don't
CI.
think it's part of Kubernetes because it's parameter. I guess they are parameters. Like for example, you create when you create the node, right? When you create this cluster itself, you put there
Yeah.
how many secondary nicks you want, right?
Yes. Right.
So that's like you decide that on the project, not in the. It's not hard coded in the Kubernetes CI image or something.
It's
It's
not hard coded, but there's a loop in KubeVirt CI that loops over them and adds the ETH1, 2, 3 according to the value of that variable.
yes. So if there are setups, maybe part of make cluster app or stuff like that, you could do it there. So from my point of view, as part of make cluster app, you could do the bridges there, or you can do them again. I'm less strict about it. Either
Yeah.
as part of cluster app or as part of your test in the before session or whatever the name is. Uh, you could do that there as well. It doesn't matter. The reason that
Okay.
I think NM State API is better is because you can change it very easily, and I don't need to review all your linking, the bridges to post, all kind of stuff. I can see it as a declarative thing, and it's much easier to maintain it as well.
But if it's NM state, then it won't be in KubeVirt CI, right?
Oh, if you need to have NM state in the if you need the NM state in the node and you say it's not part of CentOS Stream basic deployment or some basic packages, then you'll have to install it as part of preparation of the node in the Kubernetes CI project. Do you understand what I mean? I mean the RPM.
But it's, I think it would be much simpler. The code would be much simpler if I just go into that loop with the ETHs and add the bridge there.
Okay,
I think it's
but
much
I don't.
simpler.
How do you, I don't know how you will. It's
It's two
simple. It
commands.
just looks like I don't know if it's go. If you have five of them, what will you do?
I go into that loop and I create for ETH1, I create BR1. For ETH2, I create BR2. And I just set those as masters. That's all.
Maybe we should move this discussion to the end of
Yeah,
the meeting. We have
but
long list of yes.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone. The next one is what? This is Oral's PR about fixing the bug. It has my LGTM and Oral, do you want to talk about it?
We all know what it does because we all saw it. I just wanted to ask Nir if you could please LGTM it as well, following the changes, uh,
Do you want to
just to
put a
make sure
hold
that you're
because it
aligned.
has already two labels?
Don't
But
worry, this PR will be merged in a few days because of CI.
I thought of doing that, but I don't know if you need it if you already have an LGTM.
It's just for you to say that you've read it and you are okay with the changes, and you saw the comments and you are okay with what we changed following uh, the review process. Is just to make sure that everyone is aligned on what we did and to make sure that everyone took it to the finish line.
So the change that you made was to instead of introducing a new test, you added it to an existing test and you beefed up the existing test, right?
I fixed the bug in the existing test and yes, changed the existing test.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
The next one is the set of PRs where we are adding support for the S390X. This one has an NGDM from me, or it has a comment from me. Okay, it had a comment from me. The author addressed the comments, and I need to take a look once again. And once that's done, I will post somewhere for an approve. The next one should also be of the same series. So this one is adding a decorator or like something similar to some of the hot plug tests. And I had a kind of question like why we are adding it for only the migration based and not the in place or the other tests. So is there a reply? No, not yet. So yes, please take a look as well. The next one is moving the network resource injector feature gate to the CI lane config. What happens here? I did not take a look at this yet.
What exactly?
The feature gate for your web, it gets moved to something something CI. Okay, add feature gate. This thing, it enables your feature gate in the CI.
But that's done.
It's done in the test, right? Or I don't know where it's done actually.
Yes, it is PR. What it does is it moves the enablement of feature gate from the test to the actual building of the cluster in order to make sure the test runs faster for SRIOV. And there was a little discussion I saw
Oh, there
between
was
Nir and Dor
in the-
Shoval.
yeah.
And what was the conclusion?
My conclusion was that we don't do that. We don't put feature gates in the building of the cluster. It's an applicative. Thing, and it's not part of the infrastructure. I don't think that feature gate should be in the infrastructure. I commented that maybe he can do something to initialize it once instead of every time. And also, he says he wrote there that it takes a very long time to enable this feature gate, and that it involves a full redeployment of the vert operator and everything. And this is why it increases the time of the test by an hour or something like that. So that sounds very weird to me. I don't know why enabling a feature gate should take so long.
So for the network resource injection, if you enable the feature gate, it also has to deploy some external components, right? It's not like just enabling a feature gate, is it?
No, this is just a feature gate.
So it's like any other.
The components are installed as part of the CI. It's unrelated. This
Then
is just the feature gate. It's just setting this value to enabled in the KubeVirt CI. That's in the KubeVirt CR. That's all.
Then how is it different from the other tests where we are also setting the feature gate explicitly in the test?
That's what I don't understand. It's something that we always do. It's not something unique.
I don't
I don't know
understand
why.
why are we talking about what is the description of the reasoning for this change?
It's in the PR, and
So what
he
does it
wrote
say?
that it takes about it adds about an hour to the test to set the feature gate.
Does it take an hour of the test to set the feature gate? Is written
That's
here?
what he says. That's what he says. Yeah.
What do you mean he says? It's running now, right?
I didn't measure it.
No, if it takes an hour, then you are supposed to measure it because then you increase the time by 1 hour from I don't know how much, from 2 or 3 for 2 hours, right? To something like that. To
But a
yeah, to
specific
increase.
test used to run for 20 minutes or so.
I mean the lane, the job run for 20 minutes, and now because it's kind based, and now with this feature gate, when you enable this feature, it will take 1.5 hours. This is what he says. Can you please check? What's the problem to check it? I don't understand.
I think that the author of the PR should check it.
You are reviewing it.
I reviewed it and I said that if it takes that long, please explain to me why it takes this so long. It doesn't make sense to me.
Also, in your test, do you have scenarios where you test something disabling the feature gate? Because I remember in like my NAD reference, I had tests which are explicitly disabling the feature gate or something. Or are all of the tests just like using the enabled feature gate?
SIRV tests all have this feature gate enabled in order to make sure that VEP 106 actually works.
So as an alternative, can we move this instead of like in before each to something before all or something like that?
So what I'm saying is that before we look for alternatives, let's find out if this in fact really happens and why it happens. It doesn't make sense that it takes so long.
+1.
Okay,
Yes,
Before
I
we
you
sweep it under the rug to somewhere in the infrastructure, let's see why it works this way.
Okay, I will take a look at what's happening here and I will put a comment.
yeah, but you could in 2 or 3 clicking, you can check if the time is really so high. Can you please go to one of the PRs and click on the
Hey,
SLAV
I'm
job?
doing it.
That's it.
Just
By the way, Nir, I think the author said that it's like that. So from my perspective, it's a bug. If it's the case, it's a bug. You can consider it as a bug and then check it. Like if indeed it increased by even half an hour, the everything, then it's a problem, a big problem actually. So
That's what I wrote. That's what I wrote.
yeah, but it's like if his claim is correct, then it's a bug that we need to solve it. Not, I don't know what is him. He's like a contributor, so he
Yep.
tried to solve it in his way. But if you think there is another thing to check, then it's on us, not on him.
so
Yeah,
there is a report here that this job took 2 hours and 20 seconds. I don't understand why it seems a lot. It used to run on like 20 minutes or so.
then he's right. He says that it causes a full reconciliation cycle, a full redeployment cycle. I don't understand why it causes redeployment.
Okay, so from my point of view, you should either revert your changes or fix it now somehow. I don't know how.
It's a PR that Orel introduced.
Okay. But this, by the way, this means that the review of the PR was not that great. If this happened because of the change, maybe it happened in the middle for some other reason. But if this happened because of the change that we pushed, you should review the execution time. If the execution was, it's not even double. It's I don't know. Looks like 5 times more, something like that. Then you should check the execution time that it didn't created a mess. I don't understand how this can happen, but How is the injection? You did the injection inside the test. I don't understand how this can happen even. The feature gate enabling disable is not triggering the deployment, right?
He says
Oh,
that
this
it is. He says that it is triggering the deployment.
the
How?
deployment of what? Of vert handlers, of vert controller, of what?
Oh,
He said
like,
a full redeployment cycle. That's what he wrote in the PR.
no, it can maybe it deploys the injector. I don't know. Is it that the case? Is it possible? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. I added the injector into the KubeVirt into the SRIOV lane, and it's not related to the feature gate at all. It's not conditioned on the feature gate. It's always on.
Okay, so I suggest you check quickly what's going on. The fact that he's not able to answer it is not related to what we need to do.
So we'll take it with the vert operator people and see why it happened.
Thank you. The next one is a very small PR from me. It removes a redundant test. Yeah, please take a look at that. The next one is the follow-up for the past binding PR. It has an LGTM from me, and
Yeah,
let's
I
take a look
need
at
a way to review it.
On my
the next one is dequarantining one of the tests. I forgot what happened here. This is the place where we are waiting for the connectivity to be up, but we decided the connectivity should be up immediately or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually wrote to Stefano, to the past team, about it, and he said that he would check that. And I don't have an answer so far. So maybe I should put this PR on hold.
Thank you. Next one is fixing network policy for IPv4 and IPv6. I forget what this one is about, so I need to take a look. And we have some pull requests from user guides. This one adds a section for service lifecycle. Eddie, do you want to talk about it?
Me? Oh, this is what is it? This is for the
User guide. You're adding a section for
yeah.
service
uh,
lifecycle.
Yeah, I got a comment on that we should document it. It just when you use vircutter expose, the change was done to add a owner reference to the service because the service is created as a explicitly, so implicitly. So it's created implicitly as a result of this command. So we are adding now. It's adding an owner reference to it, so it will not leak. So it's just documenting that. That's it.
Okay.
Eddie, I reviewed this PR, but I didn't publish my comments yet. Please note that this functionality is not in 1.8, it will be in 1.9.
It is, yes, you should not merge it in before but it's now this is in, I think this is what I wanted to ask about it, but then I saw that the user guide has branches, release branches. So I don't know what changed, but I saw that there are branches of each version. So I'm not sure if this one has branch already to 1.8 or we need to wait until they branch it.
Meant the functionality itself, it didn't get into the 1.8 branch. It's only on main now, so it will be only in 1.9.
Oh, okay. You mean it was post the branching?
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, but maybe I can backport it. Okay, I'll right. We can change. I can change. So just comment about it, and I change the name. If I'll backport, then I'll mention it. I don't think it's worth it, but
Okay, the next one is documentation about the network resources injector. I see Near had reviewed it. I will also take a look.
What is it
And
again?
Sorry?
What is it? Can you say again
It's
what it is?
it's Oral's PR about adding documentation for the network
Oh,
resource
okay.
injector.
Documentation, right.
Oral, do you want to talk about it?
it's just documenting PEP 106 and giving a little warning about us removing some functionality, and people need to adjust using the network's resource injector.
Thank you. And the last one is also a documentation PR about Web 111. It has an LGTM from Near, so I will take a look as well. That's all we had on the agenda. Moving on to the open floor. Anyone wants to bring up any new topics? Otherwise, thank you all for joining. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye bye.
bye bye.
You.